Supernatural revolves around the story of two brothers who hunt demons, ghosts, and other supernatural beings. The Leviathans were among the most fearsome and powerful among these mystical creatures. They posed a great challenge to the Winchester brothers. And in today's video, we have everything you need to know about these near-indestructible creations of God. Before we move forward, please take a moment to click on the like and subscribe buttons to show your love for our content. Now, let's take a deep dive into the supernatural world of the Leviathans.
Now this is going to be so much fun.
Who are the Leviathans? Leviathans are also called the Ones, Chompers, or Levis. They are God's first beasts, a race of ancient primordial monsters. They are older than the angels, humans, and even the soul itself. To lock away the darkness, God used the Leviathan blossom, a nectar-producing plant that grew from Leviathan corpses. This suggests that the Leviathans predate the battle between God and his archangels against the darkness. At that time, the universe was still in its primitive form. These powerful Leviathans were so ravenous and destructive that they worried God. To contain them, he created a supernatural dimension called Purgatory. Over time, this Purgatory became the resting place for the souls of monsters. But that was not enough. Given their sheer strength and abilities, God could not ignore the possibility of the Leviathans escaping. Hence, he developed a way to kill them, if they ever did. During the process of creation, God crafted a set of stone tablets known as the Word of God. Among them were the Demon Tablet, Angel Tablet, Apocalypse Word Angel Tablet, and the Leviathan Tablet. The Leviathan Tablet contained instructions on how to kill them, should they ever escape Purgatory. The strongest Leviathan among them was Richard Dick Roman, who became their leader after murdering the real Dick Roman. How did Leviathans escape Purgatory? What was the Leviathan plan for humanity? Castiel was a powerful angel of the Lord. He was responsible for saving Dean Winchester, a human hunter and a member of the Men of Letters. In an attempt to stop Raphael, Castiel teamed up with Crowley and opened Purgatory, consuming the souls trapped within. Unbeknownst to him, he had also absorbed Leviathan souls. As time passed, the Leviathans began manifesting inside him, commanding him to set them free. Unable to contain their overwhelming power, Castiel's vessel, Jimmy Novak, began deteriorating. Eventually, he reached a breaking point where he could no longer hold the Leviathans inside him. With Dean and Bobby's help, he reopened the portal to Purgatory and expelled most of the souls. However, he soon realized that the Leviathans still remained within him. Despite his efforts to contain them, he failed and ultimately surrendered. The Leviathans emerged, declaring to Dean that Castiel was gone. His vessel was incapable of holding them any longer. Seizing the opportunity, the Leviathans spread into a nearby reservoir, contaminating the water supply and using it to possess new human hosts. Once free, the Leviathans split into two factions. One managed to control its hunger and explored the human world, while the other succumbed to its ravenous instincts, feeding on humans and drawing unwanted attention. As Sam, Dean, and Bobby fought their Leviathan doppelgangers, Crowley attempted to form an alliance with the Leviathan's leader, who would assume the identity of the real-life businessman, Dick Roman. However, the leader dismissed Crowley, stating that Leviathans viewed demons as even lower than human, useful only as a food supply. Meanwhile, Bobby's ghost revealed the Leviathans' true intentions to Sam and Dean. They were not merely hunting humans, they were farming them. Their plan was to harvest humans as cattle, opening research facilities to cure diseases like cancer, ensuring a steady, healthy food supply. With the help of a hacker, Dean obtained a stone tablet hidden in Dick Roman's headquarters. This tablet awakened Kevin Tran, a prophet of the Lord, who deciphered the Word of God. It contained an emergency note detailing how to kill the Leviathans. The Leviathans purchased Sucro Corp, a food company, and began adulterating corn syrup with DNA-altering chemicals, effectively rendering humans mindless. Believing that humankind had a limited food supply, they sought to eliminate other monsters that preyed on humans. In Survival of the Fittest, the Season 7 finale, their plan took an even darker turn. The Leviathans were no longer just gathering humans. They began selectively eliminating those they deemed undesirable: the thin, the physically challenged, the highly intelligent, and those with incurable diseases. They developed a dairy-based cream designed to kill people with lower body mass. As part of this strategy, in essence, the Leviathans' ultimate goal was to create a world where only humans with desirable traits were farmed for consumption, securing their dominance as the planet's top predators. What happened to Leviathans after Dick Roman's death? After Dean and Castiel killed Dick Roman, the leader of the Leviathans, using a bone weapon dipped in the blood of 3 fallen angels, the event had a significant impact on the remaining Leviathans. Dick Roman had been their only leader since their creation, and his death created a leadership vacuum. Without his guidance, the Leviathans became disorganized and scattered. Their plan to turn humans into livestock lost momentum. With no leader and no coordinated strategy, the Leviathans' threat was significantly diminished, reducing them to just another monster rather than a dominant force capable of threatening humanity. Dean's flashbacks in Season 8, A Little Slice of Kevin, showed Leviathans hunting him and Castiel, attempting to kill them. However, they managed to survive by decapitating the creatures. Later in the season, in Pac-Man Fever, there was a brief suggestion that a Leviathan was involved in a Djinn-related murder, implying that some Leviathans were still present on Earth. Are Leviathans still a threat in later seasons? After Dick Roman was killed by Dean and Castiel in Season 7, the Leviathans lost their significance as active threats in the following seasons. They continued to exist in Purgatory, but no longer posed a collective threat to humankind. They were mostly shown through Dean's flashbacks from his time trapped in Purgatory alongside Castiel. In the final season of Supernatural Season 15, the Leviathans returned to the story, playing a vital role as primary antagonists. In Episode 9, The Trap, Castiel and Dean return to Purgatory in search of a rare flower essential for a spell against God. There, they encounter Leviathans who still roam the realm and are feared by other monsters, proving that they were never fully wiped out. After Season 7, when Dean threatens to kill a Leviathan with borax shell, the creature reveals that Leviathan blossoms grow from the soil, where a Leviathan's body decays, a process that takes months. The Leviathan offers to take them to a place where these blossoms are already present. Dean and Castiel follow him to a field where Leviathan corpses are rotting, allowing the blossoms to grow. However, it turns out to be a trap. The Leviathan reveals that Eve, the mother of all and creator of the Alphas, seeks revenge for her own death and the deaths of the Alphas. Dean had previously killed her using her only weakness, Phoenix Ash. She also wants to punish Castiel for absorbing all the souls of Purgatory. 2 Leviathans attack Dean again. He manages to kill one with a borax shell, but is knocked out by the other. When he regains consciousness, he realizes that Castiel, the Leviathan, and the Leviathan blossoms have all disappeared. The rift is about to close. Dean eventually finds Castiel and learns that Castiel has traded his life for Dean's safety. While on their way to confront Eve, Dean seizes an opportunity to grab a Leviathan blossom and escapes. The Leviathans continue to pursue them, but Dean and Castiel manage to flee through the rift. This season further explores the Leviathans' monster hierarchy and origins, linking them to God's first creations.
We're in the show now.
What are the powers of Leviathans? Since the Leviathans are among God's first creations, they are immensely powerful beasts. They are stronger than most other monsters and can kill or consume nearly anything. In fact, they surpass both demons and angels in strength. Leviathans have heightened senses, including an acute perception of temperature. They can detect angels and demons, but are unable to see ghosts, sense ghosts. They were so powerful that they remained inside Castiel's vessel, even when a spell sent all other souls back to Purgatory. In Purgatory, they reveal their true form, appearing as meteors composed of thick, black ooze. They can fly and land with extreme speed and force, though Leviathans can be weakened or temporarily disabled, using witchcraft, borax, decapitation, or extreme physical force. They can only be permanently killed with a specific weapon, a bone from a righteous mortal, washed in the blood of 3 fallen beings. This near-indestructibility makes them effectively immortal, as they do not age, and are immune to every angelic and demonic weakness, except the weapon devised by God himself. Leviathans can possess human bodies, using them as hosts and controlling their minds with a single touch. This process alters the host biologically, and the transformation is permanent. They can even take over a body that is already serving as a vessel, killing the original inhabitant. Multiple Leviathans can inhabit a single host at once. They also have the ability to block angelic powers, preventing angels from using their abilities. One of their most terrifying traits is their regenerative ability. Leviathans can heal from almost any injury, survive decapitation, and even reattach their severed heads over time. They can also recover from damage caused by borax. With just a single strand of DNA, or even a target's hair, a Leviathan can shapeshift into that person's exact likeness. After completing the transformation, they consume the original host. They can also absorb the host's memories and skills, allowing them to imitate their victims perfectly. Leviathans surpass not only humans and other monsters, but even angels in raw physical strength. They have massive retractable jaws that serve as their primary weapon, highly adaptable and exceptionally intelligent. They were even capable of developing a food additive that cured cancer. They also demonstrated expertise in adapting complex computer algorithms for their own purposes. These tireless primordial creatures move at incredible speeds and can breathe underwater, which is why they initially chose a water reservoir to spread their influence among the human population. How can Leviathans be killed? Leviathans are extremely powerful and almost immortal, as we have already seen, yet they have certain weaknesses and can be killed. Leviathans can be weakened by witchcraft. Their overdependency on one leader is another of their weaknesses, as the leader's death left them directionless. Borax burns their flesh, though high-ranking Leviathans are less affected by it than others. The Leviathans can be killed in Purgatory. The only known weapon to do so is the bone of a righteous mortal, washed in the blood of 3 fallen. Leviathans are also known for cannibalism. They can eat each other. Bibbing is a punishment they inflict by eating themselves. Leviathans can be temporarily killed by decapitation. However, if the head is placed near the body, it attaches itself over time. God is their creator, and thus can also kill them. Death is as powerful as God and can eradicate the Leviathans effortlessly. Amara, the darkness, was about to destroy all of existence, including the Leviathan. Did Leviathans work with other supernatural beings? In Supernatural, the Leviathans maintain their sense of superiority rather than forging cooperative relationships most of the time. Death described the Leviathans as clever and poisonous. He found them entertaining. According to remarks made by the Alpha Vampire and Edgar, the Leviathans are as old as Eve. They also shared some kind of relationship with her. The vampires are Eve's children, and the Alpha Vampire claimed they originated from Leviathans. All Leviathans considered themselves above all other species. For them, humans were nothing more than cattle and food. They despised demons and considered them lower in status than even humans. As Dick Roman said, they would have wiped out the demons if the Leviathans had not been engaged with other important tasks. The Leviathans also hated the monster races created by Eve. They viewed these monsters as competitors for their food supply, and thus wanted to destroy them. To achieve that goal, the Leviathans even created a human complacency drug that would poison the monsters as a side effect. Leviathans also disliked angels. They considered angels inferior to them, despite their cosmic powers. There was no instance of Leviathans cooperating with angels in Supernatural. In Purgatory, the Leviathans maintain a hierarchical structure, but always deemed themselves superior to other inhabitants. They considered themselves the most superior of all because of their origin as God's first creation. They also never needed to forge alliances with other species because of their self-sufficiency, as they were intelligent, strong, and had shape-shifting abilities. The only exception that came anywhere close to cooperation was a non-aggression pact forced on Crowley by the Leviathan leader, Dick Roman. Who are the most notable Leviathans? The known Leviathans shown in Supernatural include Eve. She was perhaps part Leviathan, as implied by Edgar and the Alpha Vampire. Joyce McLeavy was a relatively high-ranking Leviathan, while Dr. Gaines was a mid-level Leviathan. The staff working for Dick Roman was mostly Leviathan. The key known Leviathans are Dick Roman, Edgar, and Chet. The Leviathan's leader killed the real Dick Roman, a billionaire businessman, and used his body as a vessel. He guided the Leviathans in orchestrating a grand plan of farming humans as their food source and eliminating their competitors to keep them at the top of the food chain. Sucrocorp, the subsidiary of his company, became an important entity in assisting the Leviathans in their grand scheme. Roman's right-hand man, Edgar, was a high-ranking Leviathan. He assisted Roman and followed all his commands. Dean decapitated Edgar. Chet was a low-ranking Leviathan who took the form of a credit card company employee. He was assigned to find and kill Sam and Dean Winchester. Marvelous trivia. The story which was originally written as a movie concept, gradually developed over the years into a full-fledged series. Supernatural saw commercial success, expanding into other media like comics and spin-off series. Many novels based on this series have also been published. So, that was all for today's video. Comment your thoughts about Supernatural and your favorite characters. We will see you in the next video soon.